Hi, my name is Adam Compton. I'm with Schneider Electric. I'm glad you joined us today at the Purdue Technical Sales Boot Camp. We're thrilled to be a part of it. Wish we could be there in person. The reason I wanted to take a few minutes and talk to you is that I'm in a role related to business development. That is going out and trying to find new customers for Schneider Electric. Schneider Electric is an absolutely enormous company and one that maybe perhaps you haven't heard of before. We've got a tremendous footprint across the United States with about 23% of our revenue coming from North America, making up almost about $8 billion in annual sales. Big company, but one you haven't heard of. Part of my role is to get the word out there about what it is we do. I enjoy my job a great deal. I love going after new accounts. And when I heard that Purdue was hosting a technical sales boot camp, I said to myself, that's a genius idea. Because what I end up hiring most of the time are sales-type people. People who have been in a sales-related role in their jobs throughout college, or are in a discipline related to business. And that brings a great facet, a great energy and enthusiasm to sales for Schneider Electric. But when I think of the possibility of taking somebody with a technical or an engineering background that also has that interest in talking with people and a certain relational quality, that to me is nirvana. That is the best possible person we could go out there and try to hire. So I'm excited to be here and talk to you a little bit about this. Let me tell you quickly about what Schneider Electric does, in case that's a company and a name you haven't heard of before. Schneider Electric is the global specialist in energy management. Schneider Electric is a global specialist in energy management. What the heck does that mean? Let me tell you. You know, energy is something that gets created through fossil fuels or electricity or alternative forms, right, in the form of biofuels, nuclear energy, coal, wind, steam. That energy gets created, and then it goes through a whole process, and eventually it's used, right? On the downside end of it, people are using it to power whatever it is they need in their house, or in our case, at Schneider Electric's IT business unit in a data center. What Schneider Electric does is we don't quite make the energy, and we don't make devices that use up the energy. What we do right in the middle is we help you manage that energy. We help companies make the most of their energy. We do that through a series of consultations, services, products that add up to a one-of-a-kind type of a solution for end-user customers, be they big government end users of energy, or enterprise customers, or frankly even small to medium-sized businesses, and in certain cases even in the residential market in people's homes. We have a tremendous sales force made up, again, of people that come from all different backgrounds and disciplines. So if you think of a customer experience of yourself, maybe calling into a customer service line or walking into a store and wanting some degree of feedback on a particular product or service, the person that works the best with you is who? Who do you usually picture? If you think for a minute, that person probably has a couple of key qualities. One of those things is that they're a nice, friendly, relational, customer service-oriented person, right? What you've also got, usually, is someone who has credibility. Somebody who knows that product really well, knows what it is that you're trying to do, and can make a real, genuine, person-to-person suggestion about what the right thing might be for you, right? Well, in the case of our typical salesperson, we kind of get the relational part right most of the time. And we get somebody that is very good with customer experience and can make that person feel at home. Maybe it's even somebody that can understand customer needs very well. But oftentimes what's missing, especially with a fairly complicated product line like we have within Schneider Electric, what's oftentimes missing is that credibility piece that maybe somebody like yourself who comes with a technical or engineering background could bring to the table. You know, then you start to think to yourself, maybe, you know, this is somewhat of an attractive idea, but I can't really see myself as salesy. Can't see myself as a kind of a typical salesperson chatting up new customers. Let me tell you that there is really not one single sales role within Schneider that I'm aware of that acts in that way. In fact, sales in our company are really more about education. So a customer can't possibly get their head around all the things that Schneider Electric does, or even what is meant by energy management. So what they need is that credible, relational, customer-oriented person who can kind of act as a guide through that. So a lot of our sales-related roles are really people who give advice and people who educate and enjoy doing it. So it has that element to it, the educational element. Another piece to what's happening within Schneider Electric Salesforce now is a creativity towards the early customer experience. So that means that instead of a very traditional customer and client relationship, we're changing that a great deal and inventing a lot of new and creative ways that customers can learn from us. And the ones that involve a human being are really quite genuine and unique. So it's not a typical salesy role, if you will, and it's actually really quite creative. In fact, the people on my sales teams are given a great degree of latitude to make their own choices about how they want to interact with customers. So I guess what I'd say is that if there's an interest at all in a role which is relational in nature, that gets to use the technical and engineering type background that you have, but takes it maybe to a slightly different level, one that involves more people skills, one that involves creativity, one that takes advantage of your credibility and your ability to educate. Those are the types of things that are interesting. There are companies like Schneider out there. We're one. I'm sure there are others that are looking for people that can do that sort of thing. Oh, and by the way, let me mention two other quick things, kind of the good stuff for you. One thing is salespeople make pretty good money. They tend to be a little bit more of a risk-reward type situation, but typically, if we hire you and we train you right, and you follow and do what we say and add in your own kind of creativity and relational skills, you're going to do really just fine. You're going to make a pretty good living. The other thing that I would say about what's fun about being a salesperson is there's a great deal of flexibility. So as you get better and better at sales, you get to kind of paint your own picture of how you want to go about doing it. And there are a lot of, let's say, traditional technical and engineering type jobs where that just isn't the case. So I hope that some of this has been helpful to you. Good luck at the Technical and Engineering Sales Boot Camp. Again, I wish we were there, and we look forward to seeing what kind of great ideas that you come up with.